Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Robinson again, and we're going to continue our studies. This time we're changing repeating decimals to fractions. So that was a movie I'm going to show my students in class. So here are the steps. Step 1, let n equal the given number. So whatever the repeating decimal is, we're going to set it to that. Step 2, find how many different numbers are being repeated. Step 3, multiply by a power of 10 based upon the numbers that are repeated from step 2. Step 4, subtract the equations in step 1 from the equation in step 3. And step 5, solve the equation for n. So let's look at a problem here. So we have to convert to a fraction. So we're going to start by setting this number equal to n. So we got 0.5555 point. So there's our first n. Now we're going to look at how many numbers are being repeated. So if we look at it, we see that only just one number is being repeated. It's the 5. So we're going to multiply this number down here by a power of 10. So that'll be 10 to the first power, which is equal to 10. And we'll put an n, so that'll be 10n. And when we multiply 0.55, the number we started with, we're going to get 5.5555, repeating decimals, ... Now, we're going to do our next step, which is subtract these two equations. So we have 10n minus n, and if you don't see the 1 there, I'll put it there. 10 minus 1 is 9, and don't forget the n. And now we have 5.555 repeating decimal minus 0.555 repeating decimal. Well, the first thing I noticed, these are going to cancel out over here, and 5 minus 0 will give us 5. So what was nice is all the repeating decimals over here canceled all out. So I was left with 5 minus 0, which gave me 5. Now I have to solve this for n. Well, I've done this before. Divide both sides by 9. My 9's will cancel out, leaving me with n will be equal to 5 over 9. And there is my fraction. So if I took my calculator and type 5 divided by 9, I'll get 0.555 repeating decimal. So let's look at what we got here. So we let n equal 0.555. 5 is the only repeating number. So we multiplied the original number by 10 because it's a power of 10, 10 to the first power. So 10 times 5.55, all of that repeating will just give you 5.555 repeating. And then we subtract that from the original number, and these will cancel out, leaving us with 5 minus 0, which is 5. Then we have 9 n here because 10 minus the 1, I did not put it here. 1n give us 9n, then divide by 9, and that'll give us 5/9, which is our answer as a fraction. So we have just changed our first number, which was a repeating decimal, into a fraction. So 0.555 repeating decimal equals 5/9. That was a good question. So here's one for you to try. Change the fraction 0.2 with a little bar over it to we have to change to a fraction. So we have a little bar over that. In case you forgot, that means that the number 2 is repeating consistently. So check your understanding, see if you understand so far. If you don't, turn back the video, rewatch it, and write down your questions, and I'll be glad to answer them in the morning. So let's take it a step further. Change to a fraction. We have 0, we have 0.6 06060 dot dot dot. So we're changing, we're got to change that to a fraction as well. So first thing I'm going to do is let n equal the number given. So let me pause for a quick second here while that comes on. So okay, so let's see. I'm going to let n, and let me erase that. Where's my eraser? I'm going to erase that because it's a little too high for me. All right. I'm going to let n equal 0.606060 dot dot dot. And now, if you notice, there are two numbers here that repeat. The 6 and the 0. They consistently repeat. So that means I'm going to have to multiply by a power of 10, which is the two numbers, 2 to the second power. That'll give me the 100. So I'm going to make that 100 n. And now when I multiply 6.60.60.60 by 100, that's going to equal to 60.606060 dot dot dot. So now I have to subtract, and I'll put a 1 here. 100 minus 1, n is 99n. And now I got to subtract over here. If you notice, the decimal point here lines up with the decimal point here, and we have 60.606060, and that's the same up here as down here. So that's going to cancel out, leaving me with 60 minus nothing, which will just give me 60. And now, let me divide by 99, and that will give me my answer. The 99s will cancel out. My answer is equal to 60 over 99. And I can even reduce that a little bit by dividing both these numbers by 3. So let's simplify. 60 divided by 3 is 20, and 99 divided by 3 is 33. So my answer will be 60 over 99, or simplified 20 over 33. So there are my answers. So let's press this button box here, and that's right, 60 over 90 or 20 over 33. So it's still the same process, even though you had more than one number that repeated. So here's one for you. 0.636363. Notice the numbers that are repeating. Change it to a fraction. So check your understanding, see if you understand it so far. If you don't, rewatch the video and write down your questions, and I'll be glad to answer them. So here's an interesting one. Express the decimal as a fraction. So not going to do this one for you. Even though you have a whole number here, just look at the numbers that are repeating. So set that out equal to n. So I'll just mention a little bit. N is equal to 8.3 repeating, and set the number. See how many numbers are repeating? Just the 3. So that'll be 10 to the first power, and that'll be 10 n. And when you multiply 8.3 repeating times 10, you're going to get 83.3 repeating decimal. Then subtract it, and you can take it from there. That'll give you your value. So I'm going to leave that right there for you, and I'm going to call it quits for now. So I hope you got something out of the lesson. If you are still unsure, bring in your questions tomorrow, and I'll be glad to answer them in class. So this is Dr. Robinson signing off. I'll see you tomorrow in class. Have a good day.